So, Coach Fred, we've seen all kinds of noise when it comes to Bill Belichick and his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, here. The story has come out that Jordan Hudson has amassed over a $9 million real estate portfolio since she's been dating Belichick. Obviously, we saw the CBS interview where she came in and said, we're not going to answer these questions about the relationship with them, yada, yada, yada. Coach Fred, let me ask you, though, could Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend derail his coaching run at UNC before it really begins? This is something that I really don't want to happen. This is one of the most exciting teams that I'm looking forward to going into the season in college football. The Tar Heels, they got Gio Lopez, South Alabama transfer quarterback. It's a team I'm really looking forward to, but Bill Belichick's buyout it lowers a lot more, I believe, after June 1st here. Do you see Bill Belichick's girlfriend being the reason that his coaching career at UNC may be derailed, so to speak, before it really begins?
Nah, because of who he is, I think his life is starting to unravel. Whether he wants to believe that or not. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that interview, Bailey. That was scary, man. Like, Bill may be taking some verbal abuse at the house behind closed doors. You know what I mean?
Oh, boy.
But and Bill's got kids older than her as well, So, when you talk about the structure of it all, I think she understands that that's her cash cow, so to speak. So I don't see her putting that in jeopardy to a point to where they come in and they break away, they cut ties. But I can see this starting to take away from what everybody said his major attribute was what? Laser focus.
Right.
I don't know if you can be laser focused there when they are pretty much running everything about you.
Right.
I just, I would have never seen this coming in a million years, but who did?
Yeah, exactly. Me neither. And you brought it up. Let's go ahead and show it, actually. Here's a part of the CBS interview, Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson, CBS interview. Take a listen.
It was a mutual decision.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that that's the...
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that? Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is.
I love Bill's response to that. I love it. Coach Fred, what was your initial reaction when you saw that interview? You saw the clips here of Jordan Hudson. What was your initial reaction to all of it?
I was floored, Bailey, because what's always been said about him is that he is who he is. He's in control of everything. He's in control of the offense. He's in control of the defense.
Yep.
And when she took over the interview, and all he did, I don't know if you have that piece, Bailey, but if you show that one where he kind of just looks over there at her, I felt so bad for Bill at that moment, man. Like, nah, coach, can't do it. Say what you want to say, man. Don't let her control the interview.
Yeah. I mean, she was definitely. It sounds like they're seriously. We're not talking about this. Bill Belichick actually released a statement regarding the scrutiny, so to speak, of the CBS interview, saying, I quote, "I agreed to speak with CBS Sunday morning to promote my new book, The Art of Winning: Lessons from My Life of Football. Prior to this interview, I clearly communicated with my publicist at Simon & Schuster that any promotional interviews I participated in would agree to focus solely on the contents of the book. Unfortunately, that expectation was not honored during the interview. I was surprised when unrelated topics were introduced, and I repeatedly expressed to the reporter, Tony Docupill, and the producers that I preferred to keep the conversation centered on the book. After this occurred several times, Jordan, with whom I share a personal and professional relationship, stepped in to reiterate the point to help refocus the discussion. She was not deflecting any specific question or topic, but simply doing a job to ensure the interview stayed on track. Some of the clips make it appear as though we were avoiding the question of how we met, but we have been open about the fact that Jordan and I met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021. Coach Fred, what are your thoughts on Bill Belichick's statement in response to all the heat from the CBS interview there?
If it was that easy, just say we met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021 and get right back to it. But to cut in, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about this. That takes on that take on another life of itself, of its own. But I just, again, whom he shares a personal and professional relationship with, that was a bad look. That was a cold look. So whoever his publicist is, his PR people, maybe not such a long statement like that after that, because Bailey's Bailey, so Bailey's gonna read all of it. Me, I'm not gonna read all that. I'm probably going 2 lines in, and then I'm going 2 lines at the end. And whatever's in the middle, if it was important, I missed it because I didn't do all that reading. But PR, quick and to the point. You know what I mean? Bill runs this. And that would have been it. There was nothing else to add a whole paragraph to that statement or to that, to add context to what people had already seen. Because to me, this does worse damage than the interview. Because now this is, the aftermath. Bayless, usually if you, hit it first early, then, whatever comes after that comes after that. But when you wait and you prepare a prepared statement, that just doesn't look good for Bailey.
Yeah, no, and the fact that he's even has to comment on it, I think, is unbelievable. The fact that it's such he's going through the social media ringers, so to speak, Coach Fred. Shout out to Mike Bundy for the $10 donation, saying she talked to Bill. Bill talked to his players. Sad. Likely. Man, the whole reason I brought this up, I think Bill Belichick and UNC are must-see TV, must-watch TV, so to speak. I'm a really big fan of their quarterback. They just got in the transfer portal, Gio Lopez, paying him a lot of money to be their QB1, coming from the University of South Alabama. Please, Jordan Hudson, don't ruin this. I'm so excited to see this. And I fear with Bill Belichick's buyout going from, I believe, and don't quote me on this, 10 to 1 million, I want to say after June 1st or so, the whole noise about, that buyout was Bill Belichick going to the NFL. Now, when I'm reading stories about Bill Belichick's buyout coming into play because of the fallout of the CBS interview with Jordan Hudson, that's where I get a little bit alarmed, Coach. Wow. I want to see UNC play 1 season at least, Coach. What do you got to say to that?
You know what? They'd be crazy to cut ties, because now this is, like you said, this is really going to be must-watch TV.
Yeah.
And then this is going to turn into, I hate to say it, I know our guy JB is going to be mad about it, but this is exactly what's going to happen, baby. Mark my words. This is going to turn into a Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce deal. Anytime she is at a UNC game, the TV is going to find her, the commentary, they're going to talk about it. They're going to talk about this interview, whether they are playing in Chapel Hill or they're playing in Tallahassee. If she is there, the camera's going to find her like it does every time Taylor Swift is at a Chiefs game. And and I know, Bailey, she ain't sitting where the kids' parents, you play college football, so that one section that they give the away team. Yep. Yeah, she ain't in that section. She's going to be up there in that box.
They're going to pan to her. Someone scores, they're going to pan to her just like the Taylor Swift thing. I could absolutely see that, Coach Fred. But nonetheless, I'm really excited about North Carolina Tar Heels football. I think that they have a lot of potential going into this season in a very open ACC conference. Speaking of North Carolina football, their general manager, new term in college football here, Michael Lombardi, actually talked about how Bill Belichick is bringing back the toughness to North Carolina and Chapel Hill. Take a listen here.
And sense immediately that will be different about North Carolina football in 2025?
Oh, we're going to be tougher. Look, we wear Carolina blue, and I know it looks like a soft color, but we're going to get tougher. Coach Belichick and I both believe in mental and physical toughness, and we're going to tackle better. We're going to have more contact. We're going to be a more physical team. Remember what I said earlier in this interview, we're going to control the middle of the field. Right? The only way you control the middle of the field is to be physical. We're not playing powder puff football. We're not having a camp that everybody's going to join in and we're all going to go to Dairy Queen after the game, right? We're going to be a physical football team and we're going to play that way. And the only way you can play that way is to coach that way. And there's an old saying in football, you're either coaching it or allowing it to happen. We're going to coach toughness. We're going to coach physicality. And this team will be physical. It may not happen in September. It takes some time to develop a team. But by the end of the year, we will be a physical football team.
Man, that makes me hyped and excited, Coach Fred. Nonetheless, hearing from Michael Lombardi, who I actually think as a general manager, having some oversight on a college football team, I think is going to be a huge impact for them, especially looking into year 2 and year 3 for them. But Coach Fred, what are your thoughts on Michael Lombardi's comments there on Bill Belichick restoring the toughness of Chapel Hill and UNC?
Well, he put that disclaimer right at the end. Now, it may not happen in September, may not happen in October. So he put the disclaimer out there. Let's put that out there first. And then, I just see when you talk toughness, Bailey, it's a little different in the pro game when you're talking college. And, they have the roster limit, just like the NFL now. So it's going to be interesting to see how they implement this toughness because there's not 3 days. There's no longer 2 days. And like he said, it does take time. So if you've been overly soft, what's the saying? You can never teach a dog how to bite. They either come out biting or they don't. They don't become just vicious, that way. And then, I can also see for fun and games, I can also see him trying to talk discipline and toughness and one of those kids firing back. Well, you weren't talking like that to Jordan. I just thought I'd throw that out in the interview. But, that's one of those deals, man,
No, I'm with it, though.
They're going to be I expect them to be a better team, no doubt about it. Now, with that staff, can they adopt the college way of playing as compared to the pro way that he's been his whole career,
Yeah.
through?
Yeah. And that's a great point, Coach Fred. And I'm going to be watching this team in depth as that we get closer to the fall here in the season here because I'm really interested to see what that team looks like, especially on offense. I'm really curious. But yeah, well said, Coach Fred. And